St. Vincent College leaders met Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican, a Derry area teacher earned statewide agriculture honors, and 2 men pled guilty in a federal Snapchat hacking case. It's May 27, 2026. I'm Joe Wells filling in for Abigail Hakis, and this is your Bulletin Brief. We begin at the Vatican, where 2 St. Vincent leaders were personally received by Pope Leo XIV earlier this month. St. Vincent College President, the Reverend Paul R. Taylor, and St. Vincent Seminary Rector, the Very Reverend Edward Mazich, met with the Pope on May 13th. The visit highlighted St. Vincent's growing global presence within the Church, as well as its role in the Benedictine education. During the audience, Father Paul and Father Edward spoke with Pope Leo about Benedictine education in the United States, with special focus on the mission of St. Vincent College and Seminary. They also presented the Pope with 2 gifts. The first was Roman Verosco's The Cloud of Unknowing, an allegorist work offered to the Vatican Museum's modern and contemporary art collection in honor of Pope Leo. Verosco is a St. Vincent alumnus and internationally known artist. His work is already connected to major institutions, including the Victoria and Albert Museum in London and Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City. Father Paul said the piece was especially meaningful because Pope Leo is a mathematician, making the algorithm artwork a fitting gift. The second gift had much more Western Pennsylvania flavor, a St. Vincent College training camp edition of The Terrible Tao. Father Paul said Pope Leo recognized it right away and smiled broadly, even if his NFL loyalties may be elsewhere. The visit continues St. Vincent's recent connection to Pope Leo's life and thought. In April, the college hosted the United States launch of the first official biography of Pope Leo XIV. Back here at home, Derry area high school agriculture teacher Carly Ripple has been named Pennsylvania's Outstanding Agricultural Education Teacher of the Year. The honor comes from the Pennsylvania Association of Agriculture Educators and recognizes Ripple's work showing students that agriculture is much bigger than farms and tractors. At Derry area, students explore topics including animal science, forestry, food science, floral design, and wildlife management. Ripple says agriculture is a wide and diverse subject, not just the old stereotype of cows, plows, and sows. Her own path into the field was not traditional. Ripple grew up in Pittsburgh and did not attend a school with an agricultural program. She first discovered the field while working at a greenhouse and feed store as a teenager. At first, she planned to study horticulture and agriculture business at Penn State, with the goal of someday owning a greenhouse. But after realizing how much she enjoyed teaching customers about plants, she shifted into agricultural education. Now she says she tries to be the ag teacher she wishes she had in high school. For Ripple, the work goes beyond career preparation. She wants students to build confidence with professionalism and a sense of community that lasts after graduation. One former student was inspired by the program to study agricultural education at Penn State and later became an agriculture teacher herself. More recently, Ripple reunited with several Derry area graduates at a Penn State career panel and saw they had built their own small dairy ag community on campus. Those students are now studying fields including turfgrass science, forestry, wildlife, and agricultural education. Ripple says she hopes students carry responsibility and professionalism with them no matter what path they choose. And for a quick community note before our next story, be sure to check out our Memorial Day weekend photo collections and Ligonier Country Market photo collections on our website at LatrobeBulletinNews.com. 2 Pennsylvania men pled guilty in connection with a case involving hacked Snapchat accounts and stolen sexual images. Dylan Michael Miller, 33, of West Mifflin, and Richard Allen March Jr., 36, of Meadville, are accused in a 7-person conspiracy where men allegedly hacked into hundreds of Snapchat profiles to download sexual images without victims' knowledge or consent. Prosecutors said the images were then traded and sold online. According to court documents, the accused men sought out photos of women and girls they knew and stored them in a folder called Local Girls. Court records showed some of the victims were minors. Miller pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and possessing child sexual abuse materials. Prosecutors said Miller used records from PNC Bank where he worked to obtain cell phone numbers. They said he and others then sent phishing messages pretending to be Snapchat in order to access accounts. Investigators said the FBI reviewed Miller's phone after a May 2022 search warrant and found more than 275 separate victim folders. Prosecutors said Miller accessed about 200 Snapchat profiles. PNC Bank said in a statement that it is aware of legal proceedings involving a former employee and that due to ongoing nature of the matter, it could not offer additional information. Later Tuesday, Martz also pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and receipt of child sexual abuse material. Prosecutors said a search warrant of Martz's home in February 2022 uncovered thousands of victim files. They also said Martz attempted to access about 500 Snapchat accounts, including accounts belonging to minors who went to the high school where he coached. Both men are scheduled for sentencing on September 16th before Chief United States Judge for the Western District of Pennsylvania, Kathy Bassoon. Miller's sentencing is set for 2 p.m., while Martz is set for 11 a.m. Both men will remain on bond until then, and both will be registered as sex offenders. And now, on to sports. Several Greater Latrobe baseball and softball players have picked up postseason recognition with all-section honors. On the baseball side, the Wildcats played in a very deep section this spring, going 17-3 during the regular season and still finishing tied for second place in Class 5A Section 1. Senior Cole Short was named to the first team as an infielder. Greater Latrobe also had 3 players named to the second team. Juniors Grady Ruffner and Ty Wisniewski were selected in the infield, while sophomore Aaron Gasky earned second-team honors as a pitcher. On the softball side, the Lady Wildcats had 2 players selected from the first team. Sophomore Natalia Sekaresh earned the nod in the infield, and freshman Morgan Mayers was selected in the outfield. Senior outfielder Sarah Blasey, a Point Park University commit, represented the Lady Wildcats on the second team. And here's your local sports schedule for today, Wednesday, May 27th. In Latrobe Dairy Area Teener League action, Bardeen's is at Heat Siphon at 5:30 p.m. Also in the LDATL, VFW is at St. Joe's at 8 p.m. In Latrobe Little League, the Phillies are at the Pirates at 6:30 p.m. And in Legion Baseball, the Unity Bulldogs are on the road at Plum Legion. First pitch, 6 p.m. Thanks for listening. For more local stories, pick up a print edition, visit LatrobeBulletinNews.com, and follow the Latrobe Bulletin on social media. I'm Joe Wells, and this has been your Bulletin Brief.